His life, thoughts and work have inspired many around the world. He was the first president of the three-member presidency of the internationally recognized Bosnia and Herzegovina and led the country during a war that was marked by massacres, ethnic cleansing and genocide. Alija Izetbegovic's journey wasn't an easy one. He was imprisoned twice. The first time was shortly after World War II. During the war, he did humanitarian work and joined the Young Muslims, a social movement that aimed to uplift the Muslim community in Bosnia and make them proud of their identity. But the activism came at a cost. Izetbegovic was sentenced to 3 years for joining the organization. As part of the sentence, he worked on a government construction site. After being released, he studied agriculture and law and began to work in several companies in Bosnia. 1970 was a year of huge importance for Izetbegovic. It's when he published his political manifesto. It presented his views on the relationship between Islam, state and society. He tried to reconcile Western-style progress with Islamic traditions. The communist authorities interpreted the declaration as a call for Islamic law in Bosnia and banned it. Izetbegovic was then marked as a nationalist and sent to prison again. This time, he was sentenced to 14 years, but served less than half of it. He was released in 1988 after pressure by lawyers and international monitoring groups. His political career took on a new life when he founded the Muslims Party in Yugoslavia in 1989. A year later, he founded the Party of Democratic Action, or SDA. It immediately became the biggest Muslim majority party in the country, and still is. As Yugoslavia started to collapse, conflict in Croatia was simmering. To preserve a united Bosnian state and a peaceful solution, Izetbegovic initially proposed a loose confederation with the rest of Yugoslavia. On February 29, 1992, and then on March 1st, he led Bosnians to a referendum that resulted in the independence of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Just over a month later, the EU and the UN recognized Bosnia's independence, but the Serb leaders opposed it. The war resulted in the longest siege of a capital city in modern history, when Serb troops surrounded Sarajevo and witnessed the Srebrenica genocide. Izetbegovic led the Bosnian army and the country during its toughest days. He enjoyed a remarkable reputation among world leaders.
Izetbegovic, of all the leaders I dealt with during the war, was a man who conveyed only angst when confronted by the tragedy of conflict in Bosnia-Herzegovina. He was devoid of the cynicism or vanity that marked other war leaders. History will no doubt say that not all his decisions were right, but more than anybody else, he was responsible for the fact that Bosnia-Herzegovina survived.
Numerous negotiations resulted in the Dayton Peace Accords in December 1995, and the killings stopped. For Izetbegovic, it was a temporary break, as the country was left heavily devastated and with a complex political system. At the first post-war elections, he became a leading political figure in the country. He stepped down as a member of the presidency in October 2000, at the age of 75, due to deteriorating health. In 2003, Alija Izetbegovic passed away.
What we call Bosnia isn't just a piece of land in the Balkans. For many of us, Bosnia is an idea, a belief that people of different religions, nationalities, and cultural traditions can live together.